I'm testing different things. I'm always trying to change it, but for me personally, like if I write it down, like every single day, write my goals down, it helps. And I got this practice because I listen to podcasts and people were talking about keeping the notes, keeping your goals in your wallet, right? That's a pretty common thing. And then you read it multiple times a day.
Yeah.
I find that for me, when I write something, and people talk about this, writing in the present tense, right? That helps a lot.
And my question to you, Stephen, is I always have the challenge, and I'm hoping I'm not alone, having consistency. And I found consistent and persistent as a very, very, it's easy to get started to do something. It's easy.
Yeah.
And it can stay for a week, a month, or even. But how can you stay consistent and maintain your persistence and consistency for so long? How did you do that?
How do I do it personally?
Yeah.
Just do it. it's momentum. Momentum.
I think momentums are a very big thing because
Yeah.
once you get into the flow, if you ride on that wave of momentum, then you are technically quite consistent. Unless you break that momentum, then you have the trouble of being consistent.
I'll tell you, like I've had days where, because I have a habit of when I'm cleaning my room or like changing my clothes and stuff, to listen to podcasts or some good input for the brain, right? So even when there was days where I'm like, I don't want to do this today. I feel like maybe I don't want to do this today. And then I go to my room, I start cleaning my room and stuff, but naturally, out of habit, it just happens. Like, I don't even need to think about it. It's programmed.
Oh, it becomes a habit.
It's on a subconscious level already. It's just programmed deeply. It has very, very deep roots.
So you are saying actions, a consistent enough action will turn into a habit.
I'm not. You asked me a question that I never really dissected. So like, if I were just to think on the spot, it's just like keep on doing it, and then everything you do, you're gonna have like moments where you don't want to do it.
Yeah.
And then you get into the habit. That's when you tell yourself, "Fuck you." You're doing it, and then you just do it some more, and then you get that momentum again. But you really have to just break through those periods where it's the hardest times. Just break through.
I see.
Yeah.
Do you guys have this problem where it's you set a goal, and then you go off and you read a book and you learn something entirely new, and then you have a completely new interest, and then it's like, oh, I don't want to do that goal anymore. I want to do this goal now. So, is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it's the end goal that's important. So for me personally, like I don't really care what I do as long as it gets me closer to what the end goal is.
Okay.
So if my end goal, like I think everybody's end goal is similar: wealth, health, love, and happiness, and fulfillment, freedom, to do whatever you want, whenever you want, that kind of stuff. So if the new thing you're doing moves you closer, you know that for a fact. Sometimes it's hard to say in the moment, but if you know that moves you closer, sometimes it's very obvious, sometimes it's not so obvious. But
I mean, I guess a question to you about that state, is it more like, for example, you read this book and then it teaches you, okay, to be healthy, you have to be vegan. And then tomorrow you actually read this book and it tells you everything bad about being vegan.
Exactly.
Diet cults.
You gotta keep that, right?
Yeah.
Because the main thing is your main goal is to be healthy. So that your main goal is still the same. It's just how you get there. That's
exactly.
sub goal as well.
Exactly.
Those things you can change depending on what you feel is right.
Yeah. Okay.
For me, it's I think we talked about this before too. It's a book called The Slight Edge. Sort of what?
Yeah, I'm reading the science.
Yeah, it's really good. But that's basically how I like conduct myself on a daily basis for like achieving my goals. Because The Slight Edge I thought was really impactful. And what it talks about is how like reaching your goals is really easy in a way, but it's also really easy not to achieve your goals.
Yeah.
It basically talks about your day-to-day. So for example, let's say you're trying to like gain 20 pounds of muscle, right?
Yeah.
So doing that is in a way easy, because what happens is you just need to make a simple decision today. You decide, do I go to the gym and work out, or decide not to go to the gym and not work out?
Yeah.
How easy is it not to go? How easy it is? It's not really all that hard if you think about it to go, right?
Yeah.
And success really at the end of the day is basically all those miniature challenges every single day of choosing that slight edge, choosing to make that choice of going to the gym and working and seeing non-existent growth. But then, like, 3 months down the road, you do see it. All of a sudden, that slight edge has become a huge edge. That's how success is built. So every day, I just try to do a little bit of something that gets me closer to my goal.
Compounding effect.
Yeah, you gotta rely on the compounding.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was actually a very meaningful book that I read as well.
Yeah.
So do you normally write down all these individual small goals, or is it just something that comes out in the back of your mind and you decide, okay, should I do this? Do I have to do it? I'll do it.
I think I showed you guys before about what I'm doing right now. Is I write my things I need to do into Evernote.
Yep.
Right, and I break down every task in terms of achieving it into a task. And with that mindset, just like Edge, I basically do one task every single day at least. So every single week, my Evernote is like
Nice.
shifting.
Yeah.
Right, it's like I come up with ideas way faster than I actually do, which is a problem. But I know at the end of the day, I'm constantly shifting through my Evernote. Like
Yeah.
my to-do list is always
That's crazy. That's awesome.
That's great. As long as you follow it, it's a great thing.
The biggest change in my life though right now that I find the most beneficial, you're already doing, you wake up freaking early every single day. But it's that shift.
Sort of. It's debatable.
So like 2-3 months ago, I made the shift where I wake up at 6:45 every single day, or not every single day, but every Monday to Friday, I'm always waking up 6:45. And the reason why I did that was this concept of like how, I think you talked about it before, your willpower. You want to have a limited amount of willpower every single day. So I made a conscious shift to wake up earlier at 6:45, and from 6:45 to 8 o'clock, I only work on my personal stuff before I go to work. And I found that that's been a huge difference in productivity and everything. Like waking up every day at 6:45, getting that hour in of productivity.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually like accelerated reaching my goals a lot.
It sounds to me like, just based on this conversation, everybody has what works for them, and then it's through a lot of testing and just doing things, and you figure out what works and what doesn't work.
Yeah.
So it's very, very interesting.
Yeah.
I've never tried that Evernote thing where you just write everything down and you go through it, you push it up.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of different ways about goal setting as well. I've heard from a lot of different people and how they talk about how they set goals. Like definitely Steven's way of writing it down is really good because I actually read this, I don't know why, but I tend to read a lot of psychology papers. But there was this study as well about how if you write goals down physically by writing it down, because there are 3 types of learners, right? There's auditory learners, tactile, and there's visual learners. So by actually writing something down, you're actually stimulating yourself to actually see something like a physical goal. So it reinforces the thought in your mind. And then another interesting thing that they talked about is when you write things down and you actually have a, say like a journal, where every day you have certain goals, and when you meet the goals, you cross them off. The action of actually crossing these goals off actually releases more serotonin in your brain, makes you more satisfied, more happy. Yeah, so it actually makes you more, it's more of a incentivize you to actually go and accomplish those goals. And I actually find it really true. Like some days, I actually have a daily journal that I keep as well, and I'll write down everything I have to do for the day, and every time when I finish it, I cross it off. And there's this satisfaction you get when you cross off something that you don't get when you check something off online. I don't know, that's a personal thing. It might just be something that is a habit that is built up for a lot of people. But maybe people in the newer generation might be a bit different because more people are using computers nowadays, right? Yeah. But for us who are more familiar with pen and paper, when you cross it off, there's this satisfaction that you get. So it drives you more like, okay, now I'm going to write down more of my goals and I'm going to try to cross it off as well.
That's interesting. Actually, that's actually another benefit of doing what I've been doing every single morning I found, that I forgot to mention, is I actually feel happier in life. Because I'm basically starting every day crossing off one check.
Yeah.
So before I get to work, I'm already in a good mood.
You're already successful.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So that's another benefit of like waking up early to do things.
I found that benefit as well.
And then probably, I guess, for the video, for a lot of people who don't really know this, you guys probably already know this. How do you eat an elephant, right? A bite at a time. So you break down things. Like there are a lot of goals that are very big and you don't know where to start. Again, it goes back to the principle of the slight edge. Like some things that I do, I really don't know how am I going to actually achieve it, for example. But sometimes you just have to do it and have faith that you're going to be able to reach that end goal if all the small goals that you're doing actually build up towards the end goal. So, like for example, if let's say you have a sales target of 1 million by the year end, when you think about it, holy shit, how am I going to sell 1 million by the end of the year? If you break that down, by 12 months, you break it down to each day. Each day you have to do how much sales. It's actually quite reasonable to see how much you have to do on every day on a consistent basis. The key is to be consistent and actually meet those goals. As long as you do the things that, like Stevie said, choose things that are easy to do as opposed to not doing it because it's quite easy not to do it as well.
Yeah.
Then you
Wait,
can
have you ever actually done the math? How much do you need to make like sales-wise?
no, I actually haven't done it,
It's like
but
2,000, 2,100 something. That's including weekends every single day. I don't know. I don't remember off the top of my head.
2K, still a pretty big number.
Over 2K a day.
265.
It's your daily income goal, right? Or daily revenue goal? 6, 7, 5, 6, 5, 2,739.
2,769 a day.
Yeah. For the camera.
So yeah, it's still a pretty big number, but definitely achievable.
Start with 100K.
So yeah, I have a question. So you guys been, talking about your angle. So I'm being honest, and for me, it's very difficult to find a solid angle. We talk about you want freedom, you want happiness. Again, now, happiness-wise, you can be a happy person, probably the happiest person without not so much money.
Yeah.
So obviously, statistics shows that the richest person doesn't necessarily have to be the happiest person, right? So again, it's a minor state. So I don't know how. So let's say Stephen, you want to be you want to have happiness, right? And then doesn't necessarily that you have to become an entrepreneur like Elon Musk or Steve Jobs or Mark Zuckerberg in order to be happy. Or you say you want freedom. Freedom is a mindset, so it's subjective. Some people could be working in McDonald's shop. They could feel they are the most free person ever on the planet, and you could be sitting in a CEO board, and you couldn't feel that freedom.
Yeah.
So to me, I don't know. I'm still. So last week we talked about how do you find your number one why? Why do you wake up every single day? Why do you do what you do?
Yeah.
Right? Simon Sinek talking that the golden circle of why. So I'm still I've been searching, I've been reading. The reason I read these philosophers, I want to understand what's the purpose of my life, what to choose, what to choose to be a good end goal for me. And I found very difficult. I don't know if I know for you guys, seems to me it's very easy to pick. Okay, Chincha, I want to help people grow. That's just my purpose, my angle. You said I want to pursue freedom, and then you said you want happiness, freedom. Wow.
I want everything.
You want big but and then I haven't asked you, so I don't know. You say you want to be financially free as well, right? So I don't know how do you determine that? How do you define that?
Too much of a perfectionist. Pick one that's worthwhile, and just do it and course adjust after. If you have a general direction, it's like figure out if you want to go to California, New York, or Miami. Once you know the general direction, then go in that direction and course adjust along the way.
Do you feel that maybe the reason why you have a tough time is because you're agonizing over the different choices that you have? You're like, oh yeah, if I make it this one, I think that one's really, really cool too. So.
No. I'm. It's
Maybe
different.
you do want everything.
No. Let's say if I said if I want to be, my purpose is to pursue freedom. I don't have to probably be like a very successful entrepreneur in order to be free. I could be leaving my job right now in the bank, but it's a mind state. I can switch my mind state. I want to be free. I want to have the freedom. I just need to do my work, switch my mindset, read a book. I can be the happiest person ever, and the person who has the most freedom. So that's why it depends. If I choose this, I could be doing this way. Not necessarily I have to go to the other way, which other people are doing.
I think to kind of give you some insight on that as well, I find that you're, again, like what Stevie says, you're agonizing over the choice. Like what I talked about today when I talked about living in the moment is, if you think about it, like that's why a lot of people are suffering, because they feel like they have a certain goal, they don't know what their life purpose is. Like, what am I trying to do with my life? What am I working towards, right? What is that achievement that I'm aiming for? So sometimes, like I would say, like I feel like my purpose is teaching other people or helping people grow, but I wouldn't say that necessarily that is the one and only goal.
That might not be the most honest one.
Yeah. So I understand where you're coming from. Like a lot of people, they feel like, oh, I don't really know what my main purpose is, kind of thing, right? That's how you feel right now, right?
I know my purpose of my life is to make a living. To live. That's my purpose. Is to live.
Yeah.
That's it.
Then I say focus on doing what you enjoy. Then just do what you enjoy, and know that as long as you're doing something that is actually contributing to society, which is what you say your purpose is, to make a change, right? if you're actually doing something that you enjoy and it actually makes a change.
No, I have a question on that too. You know.
Do you know what's the thing that makes you the most happiest?
I guess you don't know yet.
I don't know yet.
That means you gotta keep trying new shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It always comes down to just trying new
Try new
shit.
shit.
Do
When,
more.
when, the
more.
question is when we come to this kind of question, we have this expectation or we felt imbalance or saying to tell people, hey, you know, I just want to be happy on my own. I don't want to contribute to the society. It seems that it's more glorious to tell people that, hey, I want to help people to grow.
I don't think there's any
to the
shame in that,
society.
actually.
I want to help people to free, you know. And then it seems that let's add a higher purpose of telling other people. But sometimes I felt a lot of people tell that purpose because they felt good to tell that. The feeling is good. Oh, I want to free the world.
I think it's more honorable to be honest than to make up
Yeah,
something.
so that's why I
Yeah.
said it's be honest.
yeah.
Right? How can you be more honest? And then again, I'm still. And I think it's okay. It's not a problem. Like you said, just keep trying new shit.
Like again, that's why remember I said there's also expectations
Secret to life.
of other people, right?
more.
So if you feel that you don't want to say that I just want to be happy by living in my own life, then you're putting yourself in the context of other people's expectations of you. That's why you are limiting yourself and enjoying yourself, right? If you don't have that expectation that, oh, I have to do something to contribute to society, if that is what you want to do, then you're not limiting yourself by this expectation that people are putting on you.
Could it also be that you like ask these people who have really solid why? You look at them and they look really happy and really calm, and you're like, huh, I don't feel that way inside when I think of my goal. But if you really look into the surface of like your calm, what it is that they're just really comfortable with the unknown. Of like, that is the why for now, but you know, I'm not really sure, but it's okay.
Yeah.
I'll just go with that.
Go
And
with
they're
the
just
flow,
satisfied
yeah.
with that. So it's not like an actual like, you know, absolute. I know 100%.
Yeah.
I know about 70%. That's good enough for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see.
True.
Because
True.
But again, I just don't feel, again, to me, if I'm sure for, let's say, 50%, 60%, I think that's not good enough. I felt that, I felt that's a compromise.
okay.
Yeah.
I'll give you a quick quote from the book as well. I didn't say this before, but the teacher actually said to him, "Life is a mystery. Don't stress out about figuring out what the mystery is. Just live it, and it will just unravel itself.
Yeah.
So don't try to think so much about, you know, what is my purpose. I have to focus on it. You know, just do the things you feel are right.
Just go with the flow.
Yeah.
But yeah, the main thing is that you will find out, like Steve said, you don't have to be comfortable with 100%, okay, this is my goal, this is what I'm going to work towards. Like, if you just try different things and you find out, like, okay, I really enjoy doing this is what I'm going to do.
The reason I've said is those people, when you look at those ultra achievers, they are 110% certain this is their goal, this is their purpose. Look at Steve
On
Jobs.
camera, yeah.
Yeah.
Not in the
What do you know?
person.
How do you know what's going on in their mind?
Yeah, it's hard to
You
say
know
that.
only 1% of what's going through their mind. Not even 1%. You know, like small fraction of percentage of what's going on in their head based on what they say, how they present themselves, and their actions. It's a lot beneath the surface.
But when you talk to those people, you can feel that they are absolutely passionate about what they do, and then they are 100% convinced this is their purpose.
So is that what you're looking for?
Yeah.
Do you want something? I know there's something that you can do to figure that out if you're willing to try new things.
This sounds so weird.
Here's the solution.
Take some
What is
drugs.
It tastes like drug.
No, there's a place in inner BC, northern BC, where you go there. It's a 11-day silent retreat. You don't say a single word. You can't make eye contact with anybody. And you eat vegetarian food. There's a bunch of rules they have to follow. You can't say a single word for 11 days. On the
Wow,
fifth
that
day,
sounds interesting. What's
on the
that?
fifth day, people break down. And then my friend was telling me how the person next to him just fell to the ground, started crying. and that's very normal. You can't react. You can't comfort them. No physical contact or anything like that.
It sounds like a crazy experience.
Oh, tell me.
11
what's that place
days,
called?
not a single word.
What's that place
I
called?
might put this on my
Just
bucket
Google
list.
it. Just Google it.
BC
I don't know. It's a silent retreat.
Silent retreat.
Silent Retreat. Okay.
Yeah. It's by donation. First time it's free.
Whoa.
By
First
donation.
time it's free.
By donation. Yeah. 11 days. When was the last time you didn't talk? You and your thoughts alone. You figure out. It's
You're
the
not even
deepest
allowed to
exploration
read
of
or
yourself
anything?
you can possibly do.
Are you allowed to bring a book or something? Or?
No.
No.
You sit there. You meditate.
Okay, you meditate. Yeah.
Yeah, they
You
just-
sit there for 11 days. So you start at, you wake up at, I think, I remember what early time, 6 a.m. or something like
That
that.
sounds interesting.
And then you go to sleep at 9 p.m. You have a very regular routine, but you're not allowed to say a single word, no eye contact. You eat with your face down, and you're just you and your thoughts. If you want to know clarity about yourself and what your ultimate purpose is, go there.
Hyperbolic time here right now.
Yeah. I think it's very interesting because
Imagine the kind of effect that you would have.
Yeah, I found it's very necessary for me to understand myself. A lot of time we don't understand ourselves. You thought this is your goal, but in fact it might not be. And later on you realize and you shit, oh shit, I should have done, you know, I should be with my family more.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, that kind of thing, right?
So I'm going to give you another quote from the book as well.
Okay, another
there's
quote.
a lot of things from the book.
This is the Bible, right?
Yeah.
The New Testament.
But another thing that the sensei was talking about is when it comes to the topic of self-discovery, a lot of times that most people, they focus on like for example, you go to school, you learn things from school, right? People tell you what is right, what is wrong, people teach you facts. So they're imposing their beliefs onto you. That's why he talks about meditation as well. When you meditate, you're listening to yourself and you're finding the answers for yourself. If you don't actually meditate, you just focus on thinking what other people think is right. Okay, I think it's right to save the world, to solve world hunger. Then you are making that your goal, not because it's your own personal goal. So yeah, definitely try some meditation.
Go to a retreat if you're serious.
Yeah, okay, I'll look it
Because
up.
just imagine the impact that it will have in your life is profound, and it's
Yeah.
gonna be a lifetime impact.
Yes.
I haven't gone yet. I
That
haven't
sounds
gone
mentally
yet.
scarring. Weren't you the one who told me like socializing is like a huge part of
It
being
is,
mind and
it
like
is.
part of like what makes us human?
But what's
You're gonna
wrong with
strip
a
it away
couple of
for 11
days? Yeah.
That's
It's only
okay.
11 days. You're not
11
gonna
days
die.
is okay. It's worth it.
Why 11 though?
It's all about listening. to
There's
yourself,
probably some kind of Buddhist kind of. There's probably some kind of meaning behind it.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
Interesting. It sounds like social starvation.
Statistically,
puts you
everyone
into
breaks down
desperation
after 10
mode.
days, so we have to do 11 days.
12 days, there's an 80% chance you're gonna go insane. So, you're still safe at 11 days.
It is true though. I don't think I can think back to a period in my life where I go like full 24 hours
Without talking.
like
Yeah, never-
any sort of interaction with any human.
I'm pretty introverted, so for me that's kind of like a slice of heaven for me. 3 days with no people. Oh, okay.
Try it and then you see it.
Have you tried flotation tanks? Have you tried those flotation tanks?
No, I haven't tried that.
Yeah, you should try those
That's
as well.
interesting. Yeah.
Because
Let me
that
try
one-
the flotation first.
That is a less extreme version of that, I guess.
Yeah.
Flotation
Yeah.
tank is what, 1 or 2 hours,
Yeah.
and you just sit in a tank. The water is body temperature, so you don't feel anything.
Yeah.
You don't hear anything. You don't see anything. It's absolutely dark. You feel like you're just floating in space. So it's just you and your thoughts for an hour or two.
Have you guys watched a movie called The Pianist?
Yeah.
I'm like heard
No, I only watched a small part of it.
And the guy at the end, he didn't walk off the boat. And the reason he said that, he's a pianist, and he said, how do you choose? In the piano, he's okay because there's so many keys, and on this limited keys, he can create unlimited music. But when you walk out off the boat, you walk into the society. How do you choose which woman to love, which dog to go, which house to live, which city to do, which job to do?
Yeah.
So how do you choose? It's unlimited outlet. So he's more comfortable with limited and create unlimited stuff. So that's kind of interesting.
Very, very cool.
Yeah, okay, I guess too much.
How do you feel
Too
about
much-
your goal that you reached? Your first sale?
Yeah, feel pretty happy about it. So very satisfied.
Congratulations.
Well, my end goal for this month was supposed to be 3 clients, so I've got 1 done. So 2 more to go.
You wanna go? Sweet.
Good.
That's a good thing to work towards.
If it doesn't rain tomorrow, then you can do your projects. But
I'm gonna bring the drone tomorrow. It's not a paid project though. So.
you could get some money. I know they have funding.
Did you launch your product yet? The game?
Oh, what?
Did you do the product launch already?
Yeah, we have some products there.
How did it go?
Do you meditate?
I know
okay.
you're working on it for like the last
Yeah.
month.
It's okay. I
Like
mean,
how
we've
long-
been
how
working.
often?
We have like 5
not
projects
very
on the go
often.
right now.
My meditation is
Been
not
projects
sitting there
with
like a
lot of-
Buddhist.
A lot of.
It could be just morning, wake
like
up
we have
very
one
early in the
product that
morning,
everyone
don't
was
talk to
telling my friends
anything,
about
just
last year
have peace of
in
mind.
May, and I was like, hey, it's gonna come out soon.
But you have to.
It's been a year. It hasn't
well,
come
there's
out yet.
few ways to
Quite the
meditate.
experience.
Like I don't know about you, Doctor. Do you meditate yourself?
Or delight?
Well, I wouldn't
Never take.
call it formal meditation, but I do talk to myself constantly. I'm with my thoughts all the time.
Yeah.
So
Meditation, like cutting up the thoughts.
it is, I guess.
Well, there's a few ways, I guess.
Yeah.
And I'm not an expert on meditation myself, but there are 2 ways that I meditate usually. So One way is I sit down, I try not to think about anything. So people have the tendency to just like, your thoughts are very noisy. You sit down, you try not to think about anything, suddenly your mind will wander and start thinking about something. So it's a sort of discipline to try to not think about anything. And then the second way of meditating is to say, let's say I want to think about how to achieve this specific goal. Then you meditate on that goal or how you're going to do it. Or let's say, for example, if Jimmy's debate is like, what is my life purpose? Then you meditate on that. You just think about that and nothing else. Any other thoughts that come in, you just ignore it and focus, bring your thoughts back to what you're doing. So those are two ways that I normally meditate. So
The way I also see is that the Buddha came to a lot of ideas by supposedly not thinking. Right? I'm guessing he was thinking, right? Yeah.
maybe, I don't know. But yeah, those are two ways you can try meditating.
Yeah,
too.
but before a lot of people say you meditate, you find out yourself. But again, if you don't have absolute no knowledge, then you don't have a choice. Like if you ask a baby just born, ask the baby to sit and meditate. Who are you gonna meditate? If you know nothing about the world, how is he gonna meditate, right?
Yeah.
So you're gonna
Right.
be in a society in order to meditate.
But the thing is, once in a while you have to take some time off to just listen to yourself.
Yes.
Like when you say sometimes if you do certain things in the morning just by being quiet, that's not really meditating because you're still thinking about other things. Like there's a lot of noise in your brain. So focus it on a specific topic or just focus it on nothing else.
Cool.
Will help you with it.
Yeah. Cool. Do that.
What goals do you have right now?
Well, I want to, because I'm a libertarian, and I think there's a lot of cool ideas about, voluntarism and being a free society, and a lot of things led me towards where I am today and where my beliefs are, and I kind of just want to move that forward, right? So I want to spread some ideas that I think are interesting and worth exploring, right? So I want to make films or do a show. I've already started doing a show, but I want to keep pushing that. Yeah.
Talk about something next week. We would love to hear more about it as well.
Yeah.
Really cool.
But I think the thing that makes me happiest is actually learning new things and just sharing knowledge. Right? Knowledge is one of the things that I think is one of the.
That makes me happy too.
Yeah. It's very uniquely human, and I think it's it's very worthwhile.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Probably most of it for discussion, unless there's anything else you guys want to talk about.
What time is it
It's
now?
11.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, it's about time.
Gotta go.
Good. Gotta go.
All right, that's it, and we'll wrap up.
I'm gonna